This planet has no room for mercy. Beneath its peaceful skin lies a battlefield of survival. Survive or fall forever. The strong walk on over the fallen. The weak turn to dust on a cold, open plain. This is the final frontier of existence. Before the first sun touches the savannah, look at what is climbing the rock fortress out there. "16 feet of cold muscle surges up the stone, toward a crevice full of sleeping cubs, while every mother is far too far away. Tonight, which mother makes it back in time, and which one comes home too late? The East African savannah at first light. The day's first sun spreads across the grass, stretching the shadows of lonely acacia trees. In the thin mist, shapes of animals move, silent, patient. This savannah lacks neither hunters nor prey. And among them all are mothers fighting not to eat, but so their young can live one more day. Each mother finds her own way. One stands alone in the open grass. One hides her young inside a rock crevice. One vanishes into a herd of thousands. No strategy is perfect. And one group of mothers is about to discover that the rock fortress they chose for their cubs has had another resident all along. On the open plain, a figure nearly 7 feet tall moves through the short grass. The ostrich, the largest bird on Earth. More than 220 pounds, yet it runs at over 40 miles per hour. The ostrich is the only bird with just 2 toes on each foot. That design lets it accelerate hard and hold top speed across open ground. Its eyes are the largest of any land animal, nearly 2 inches across, built to spot danger from far away. The ostrich is a mother too, with a strategy of her own. Several females lay their eggs in a single nest on the ground. Each egg weighs more than 3 pounds, the equal of 24 hen's eggs. The shell is so thick it can bear the weight of a grown man standing on it. A shared nest, but not a fair one. The lead female knows her own eggs and rolls them to the center, the safest place. The other female's eggs are pushed to the rim, where raiders reach first. The sitting female's brown feathers melt into the dry grass, near invisible against the ground. Incubation lasts about 6 weeks. They nest together, yet each mother still favors her own. On the Savannah, even cooperation has its limits. Then the eggs hatch. The speckled chicks follow their parents across the plain. Then a gray shape peels away from the grass line, heading straight for the chicks, a spotted hyena. Its eyes are already locked on the speckled dots in the short grass. The male ostrich does not wait for it to come closer. He gives no warning, growl, he charges. Wings spanning more than 6 feet flare wide open, and more than 200 pounds of bird drive straight at the intruder. The hyena turns and leaves. Today is not its day. Behind their father, every one of the chicks is still whole. On the savannah, it is not only prey that fights for its young. Predators do the same. On a kopje in the middle of the plain, a group of lionesses is raising cubs. Several mothers in the pride gave birth just weeks apart. Each mother bears 2 to 4 cubs, each weighing about 3 pounds. Tiny, eyes still closed, utterly dependent. Lions are the only cats that live in prides. The mothers raise the cubs together, nursing in turns, keeping watch in turns, defending them as one. The strength is in the group. On a warm slab of rock, one mother lies still as 3 cubs nurse. 2 others lie blocking both ends of the crevice. First-year mortality among lion cubs runs 50 to 60%. In a stable pride, more than half the cubs live to 9 months. Because they have each other. When new males take over a pride, survival drops to just 14%. The group system is the only shield. When one mother leaves to feed, another watches the cubs. The litter is almost never left alone. The system is almost perfect. Almost, because there are moments when every mother must leave at once. From the top of the kopje, the mothers can see a herd of buffalo on the plain. African buffalo, each one weighing 700 to nearly 1,800 pounds. A herd can number in the thousands. Almost all of them must go. For the first time, the cubs are left with no guard at all. One by one, the tawny bodies leave the kopje, slipping down the rock face and into the tall grass. Each lioness always takes the same position in the hunting formation. When the formation is complete, the odds of success climb sharply. But hunting buffalo is a gamble. The target is chosen, a bull separated from the edge of the herd. The tawny bodies press low in the grass, closing the circle. When attacked, the whole herd can turn and fight back. And this time, they turn. Horns drop low and hammer into the closing circle. The formation shatters. The mothers retreat, hungry, empty-handed. The cubs are waiting in the crevice, and the mothers have been away from the coppier far longer than planned. The pride's hunger has not been paid, and the coppier still has no mothers on it. While that worry hangs in the air on another grassland, there are mothers who chose never to live with such worry at all. On the short grass plains of Ndutu, the wildebeest give birth all at once. Around 500,000 calves inside a window of just 3 weeks. The volcanic soil grows grass rich in calcium and magnesium, and the mother's milk runs thicker for it. The open terrain leaves hunters nowhere to hide. A calf can stand within 2 to 5 minutes of birth. It runs beside its mother within the first hour. It springs up, falls, springs up again, then breaks into a run beside its mother, the first race of its life. This is among the fastest development of any large hoofed animal. An adult wildebeest can run at 50 miles per hour. A calf must keep up with the herd from day one. Whoever lags becomes the first target. On peak days, 8,000 to 10,000 calves are born within 24 hours. A new calf every few seconds, somewhere on the plain. Four minutes after its first fall, it is running in the middle of the herd, out of reach of every hunter that arrives late. This level of birth synchrony goes far beyond what seasons or food supply can explain. There is evidence that the rutting calls of the males themselves help synchronize the breeding cycle across the herd. The strategy is simple. Give birth to more young than every hunter combined can possibly eat. A lion that gorges itself eats perhaps 60 pounds in a sitting. Then it must lie down and rest. There is no keeping up. Scientists call it predator swamping. But swamping the enemy has one condition: it takes a crowd. Back on the kopje, the entire fortune is a handful of cubs in a crevice. The cubs are still in the crevice for the first time, with no mother anywhere near. Dusk has just fallen. The day's last light clings to the rock walls. The cubs are playing, wrestling, mouthing each other's ears. They have no idea a resident of the night is waking up. The African rock python, 10 to 16 feet long, 100 to 120 pounds. A lover of rocky hills, it was here long before the lions came. The rock python works mostly by night, when the temperature falls. Its forked tongue tastes the air. Each flick delivers scent to two separate Jacobson's organs in the roof of its mouth. Two scent channels give it direction, the way two ears tell left from right. On the scales around its mouth, 2 heat pits above, 4 to 6 below. They detect temperature differences of a few thousandths of a degree. In the dying light, the python does not need to see clearly. It only needs to feel warm points that move. A new scent floods its senses. Milk, soft fur, warmth. The cubs are still playing. Not one of them has noticed. The python pulls itself one more body length closer. The gap between it and the litter keeps closing. Then the mothers come out of the darkness. The lead female catches the strange scent and charges. The python coils, jaws open, and fights back. The lioness strikes at it again and again. Another female rushes in to help. Overwhelmed, the python is forced to retreat. The hunt is over. Not one name is erased from the crevice. The mothers came back in time, this time. The Savannah promises nothing. It does not promise the prey will fall. It does not promise the enemy will leave. It does not promise the young will live through the night. No strategy is perfect. But none of these mothers quits, and that is the one thing they share. On land, every mother has found her weapon, a threat display of wings, a pride, a rock crevice, a crowd 500,000 strong. And every one of those weapons rests on the same foundation: light, seeing the danger before it arrives. Tonight, on the Kopje, a single hour of darkness nearly cost an entire litter. Yet the Savannah is only a small corner of the earth. More than 70% of this planet's surface is water. And barely 650 feet down, the light gives out entirely. Below that line lies the largest living space on the planet. No map, no horizon, nowhere to hide. Where eyes become useless, the mothers of the deep and everything that lives around them must switch to something else. Sound travels through water nearly 5 times faster than through air, and it carries far further. Every creature in this darkness lives or dies by how it uses sound. One question follows this whole journey. Who gets to hear and who gets heard? A voice can find others, herd the fish, teach the young, and it tells every listener exactly where its owner is. Silence is safe, but it is paid for in other ways, in size, in lifespan, in depending on other species. To understand why speaking costs so much, start at the surface. Sunlight touches only the first few dozen feet of water. Below that, the blue thickens, darkens, and goes black. Near the surface, a shadow longer than a train car slides past, so slow it hardly seems to move. The blue whale, nearly 100 feet long, more than 150 tons, this is the largest animal that has ever lived, larger than any dinosaur. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant. Its heart is the size of a small car. A newborn calf is already more than 20 feet long, the size of a full-grown giraffe. Each day the calf drinks 50 gallons of milk and gains nearly 200 pounds. At full effort, an adult can hit 30 miles per hour, absurd speed for 150 tons. And one question hangs in the water. Why is there nothing bigger? Scientists have attached heart rate monitors to the backs of blue whales in the open sea. On a dive, the heart beats just 4 to 8 times a minute. Sometimes only twice. When the whale surfaces to breathe, the rate leaps to 30, and that is already its ceiling. This heart is running flat out just to keep this one body alive with nothing to spare. And that limit shows itself most clearly at the exact moment of feeding. From below, the blue whale begins to accelerate. Nearly 100 feet of body surges straight upward, a slow missile that nothing can stop. This is the lunge, the signature hunting technique of the species. The mouth opens to nearly 90 degrees, the throat ballooning like a parachute. The hunt is over in less than a minute. It repeats this dozens of times a day, swallowing around 16 tons of food, 3 times more than the old estimates. That is why nothing bigger exists. The blue whale is the largest body a single heart can still power, and every lunge is the proof. Yet the largest body on Earth still needs to find its own kind across an open ocean. Blue whales call to each other in tones too deep for human ears. The call is immensely loud, and at frequencies that low, water barely resists it. It carries for more than 1,000 miles. And not every guest at the feast needs to say a word. Near the surface, a shadow covered in white spots drifts slowly upward. Its mouth is 5 feet wide. The whale shark is the largest fish alive. The biggest reach 60 feet and more than 20 tons. The whale shark does not hunt. It filters. Water flows in through the mouth and out through the gills. Everything small stays behind. An average-sized one filters nearly 80,000 gallons of seawater every hour. Sometimes it hangs vertical, mouth aimed at the sky, drawing down the column of water above its head like an upturned pipe. No whale shark ever calls another. Yet every single year, right as the coral spawns, hundreds of them quietly gather in the same stretch of sea. They need no sound to keep the appointment. Reading the invisible signals in the water is enough. The current confirms the signal. Hundreds of giant bodies converge on one stretch of sea, on the same turn of the moon. In that crowd, no two individuals are alike. The spot pattern on each one's back is a natural fingerprint, unchanged for life. To tell them apart, researchers borrowed a piece of software originally built to match star maps of the night sky. Perhaps living so long is why they never seem to hurry. A whale shark can live 80 to more than 100 years, yet it takes 17 to more than 25 years just to reach adulthood. Drifting alongside, another silhouette beats slow wings through the water. Flat and wide, it barely leaves a ripple behind it. The giant oceanic manta ray spans up to 23 feet and weighs up to 2 tons. It is the largest ray on Earth. The name manta comes from Spanish, a blanket or a cloak. Mantas have the largest brain of any fish. In one experiment, A manta responded to a mirror in a way never before seen in a fish. Scientists still argue, does it recognize itself, or is it just reacting to a stranger? A large brain, housed in a completely silent body. But silence does not mean needing no one. Over a coral reef, the manta slows, then stops. 23 feet of wings spread wide, hanging motionless above the coral heads. This is a cleaning station, and the manta is not here by accident. It knows exactly where the wrasses will be waiting. No call, no signal, just the right place, held still, and patience. The relationship lasts for years, in some places for decades. The same manta, the same station. Researchers documented the same manta returning to the same station across decades. On the reef, small wrasses thread through the open gill slits. The manta hangs there like a shadow pinned in the water. What the loud ones do with coordination, the silent ones do with symbiosis. If silence can feed a giant, grow it, and keep it alive a century, then why speak at all? The answer only appears after watching long enough to see what one generation hands to the next. In the warm seas off Australia, another species hangs in the water, head down, body motionless. The humpback whale, nearly 60 feet long, 30 to 40 tons. Every year they travel 5,000 miles each way, from cold feeding grounds to warm breeding waters. A male hanging in that posture is singing. The song has real structure. Small notes build into phrases, phrases into themes, themes into a song, in a fixed order. A session lasts for hours, then starts again from the top. Strangest of all, an entire region of ocean sings the same song. The song drifts and changes with the seasons, and everyone changes with it. Then one year, off Australia's east coast, a few strangers arrived from the west. They carried a completely different song. By every rule, a strange song from a tiny group should be forgotten. The majority always wins. In the deep blue, the newcomers hang motionless, dropping strings of alien notes into the old waters. But within 2 to 3 months, every male on the east coast dropped the old song and switched to the newcomers' song. Not a blend, not a variation. The old song vanished completely within a single season. Scientists called it a cultural revolution. The song swept from west to east, group after group, for nearly 9,000 miles. Researchers found that every few years, another revolution like it sweeps across an entire ocean. And singing is not the only way a humpback makes the whole ocean listen. "30 tons of body clears the water entirely, twists in midair and crashes back down. That impact carries enormous distances underwater. It may be a long-range signal for when songs cannot cut through rough seas. It may shed parasites or advertise pure strength. No one has settled it. And the humpback's voice does more than sing or show off. It can buy dinner. A group of humpbacks dives together. From below, they blow spiraling curtains of bubbles, a white wall closing around a school of prey. One whale calls from the bottom of the net, driving the fish toward the center. Then the whole group drives up as one, mouths agape. This is bubble net feeding. Each whale has a role, and no one breaks position. The hunt is over in seconds. And that voice does not reach friendly ears only. The species that pays the highest price for speaking is the loudest one of all. And nothing in the ocean is louder than the sperm whale. Its head takes up nearly a third of its body. Inside is an organ that focuses sound into a narrow beam. That beam is how the sperm whale survives. Because this species dives 2,000 to more than 3,000 feet for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. At that depth, there is no light, no color, no direction. Only pressure and darkness. And in that darkness, clicks are the only way to see. The clicks fire in volleys, drawing a map in the dark. Somewhere out there is the giant squid, its most familiar prey and its most mysterious. No one has ever filmed this battle in full. The only evidence is the rings of sucker scars printed on sperm whale skin. From those scars, the battle in the dark can be reconstructed. The click beam locks onto a giant of soft flesh, and the sperm whale gives chase. Tentacles clamp around the great square head. The whale forces its prey down where the pressure fights on its side. Almost every time, the one who carries the scars is the one who swims back up. But some nights, the tentacles tear free, and the squid slips away into the dark, out of reach. Clicks are not only for finding the way. Sperm whales also use codas, short bursts of clicks in fixed rhythms, to talk to each other. Codas differ between individuals, between family groups, between whole regions of ocean. A calf learns its codas from its mother and its clan. It is not born with them. In the waters around Dominica, more than 9,000 codas have been analyzed. Four things can vary: rhythm, tempo, duration, and ornament notes. Researchers describe the coda system as a phonetic alphabet of sound. The trouble is, the loudest voice on the planet cannot choose its audience. And one species has learned to eavesdrop on the entire ocean. A dorsal fin more than 6 feet tall cuts the surface. Every creature within hearing knows exactly what that means. An adult male killer whale runs past 30 feet and 6 tons. It is the largest member of the dolphin family. On the surface, glossy blackbacks rise and vanish one after another, the whole pod moving like a single body. Each pod has its own dialect, passed from mother to calf across generations. One call is enough to tell which line a pod belongs to. And that dialect is not just identity, it keeps the whole group coordinated on a hunt. A pod of killer whales launches its attack. The ring closes, tightening. This is carousel feeding. The circle squeezes until the prey is packed into a dense, spinning ball. Then, a tail strike hammers into the ball. Not a bite, a stun. The stunned fish stops swimming and sinks slowly. The hunt is over cleanly. One by one, the pod takes its share. This tactic is not born into them. It must be taught, and this is where the inherited dialect becomes everything. And teaching requires someone who has lived long enough to teach. In the pod, an old female swims slowly at the edge, and the whole pod turns wherever she turns. Killer whales belong to a very small club. Menopause, living on for decades after the last calf, exists in only a handful of species on Earth. It has been confirmed in 5 species of toothed whale and in humans. A female killer whale can live to 80 or 90 years old. Males rarely pass 40 years. An old female bears no more calves. But she remembers the fishing grounds of famine years, the currents, when to call and when to stay silent. Researchers tracked killer whale pods continuously for 36 years to answer one question: what happens to a pod that loses its old females? For daughters past 15 years, the risk of dying within the next year rose nearly 3 times over. For sons over 30, it rose 14 times over. On the surface, the pod still swims in line behind the old female, like swimming beside a living map. They do not die of grief. They die because a library of experience is gone and nothing can replace it in time. These are libraries closing, one by one. 36 years in, the data confirm, she is not a memory. She is the pod's odds of survival. As the sun sinks over the plains, the throne of this land appears to have been decided long ago. No creature wears the mantle of authority more visibly than the lion. A dominant male can weigh over 400 pounds, draped in a dark mane like a royal cloak. His roar carries vast distances through the night, declaring sovereignty to any rival bold enough to approach. Yet within that imposing frame lies a limitation few would ever suspect. The lion's heart is surprisingly small, accounting for roughly 0.5% of its total body mass. It grants the animal a ferocious burst of explosive power, but that power does not last. If the chase stretches beyond a few hundred feet, even the king himself will falter and release his prey. The lion's strength, from deep within its chest, has always been a finite dominion. That is precisely why it almost never confronts large prey alone. The crown of strength, from the very beginning, has been a collective crown. And that crown is never bestowed by appearance alone. It must be proven, and it must be earned in blood. The only way to prove it lies in facing the most dangerous prey the savannah can offer. The African Cape buffalo. A dominant bull can weigh close to 2,000 pounds, a mobile fortress of muscle set upon 4 heavy hooves. Atop its skull sits a weapon that gives even lions pause. The horns of a mature bull fuse together at the base, forming a solid shield of bone that covers the entire forehead. Researchers have given this formidable shield a name of its own, the boss. The shield only hardens fully when the buffalo reaches 8 or 9 years of age. And once it has set, a lion's claws become virtually useless against that surface. The pride knows this very well. A lone buffalo separates from the herd the shield bearer. The hunt begins with patience. The circle tightens. At last, the shield bearer falls upon the grass. The pride has proven its crown. Their strength is real, not a whispered legend passed from mouth to mouth. Yet the price of it remains etched across their bodies. The crown of strength, in this moment, seems utterly unassailable. On an open stretch of ground, a cheetah lies low, eyes locked upon a herd of gazelles grazing in the distance. If the lion is the embodiment of brute force, then the cheetah is the embodiment of refinement. Its body has been honed by 40 million years of evolution for a single purpose, and a single purpose only. Acceleration. Its enormous nasal passages flood both lungs with oxygen in an instant. It launches forward at nearly 70 miles per hour. The gazelle swerves. The cheetah follows. The gap closes. The prey stumbles. It is over. Yet at the very instant of triumph, the fatal flaw of the speed crown is laid bare. Heart rate and breathing surge to their maximum threshold, and its body temperature climbs to a dangerous extreme. Throughout that entire stretch of time, the victor is utterly defenseless. For to achieve such velocity, the cheetah has sacrificed nearly everything else. It is light. It is slender, and across that long, lean frame, there is scarcely any muscle built for combat. The crown of speed is built entirely upon a single gamble. Bring down the prey swiftly, then pray that no watching eye has noticed. But on the savannah, vulnerability never escapes the gaze of those watching from above. Thousands of feet overhead, a white-backed vulture has seen everything. The cheetah lifts its head and understands at once what is coming. From the horizon, the shapes of hyenas and lions have already begun to close in, following the beacon hung in the sky. The cheetah has not yet recovered its strength. It has no choice but to abandon the kill and slip quietly away. The crown of speed has just proven a bitter truth. Being the fastest creature on Earth is enough to win a kill. But speed alone is never enough to keep it. The swiftest hunter on the savannah, in the end, hunts so that others may eat. And if neither strength nor speed can hold the throne, then perhaps the true crown belongs to one that no eye can see. There is a crown that relies on neither muscle nor velocity. The crown of invisibility. And the one who wears it moves across the savannah like a phantom draped in a floral cloak. The leopard does not hunt with conspicuous force. It hunts with its own absence. With the ability to dissolve into the dappled light beneath the canopy, until prey standing mere paces away cannot sense it is there. Each rosette on its coat is not ornament. They are camouflage patches of light and dark that shatter the body's outline until the leopard melts into the leaf shadow. The leopard spends much of its life in solitude, no pride, no allies, only itself and its own shadow. When it strikes, death arrives before sound. And yet the leopard exists within a cruel paradox. It is strong enough to bring down prey, but far too solitary to defend what it has taken. Across this land, lions and hyenas stand ever ready to steal the spoils of another's labor. And so the leopard has evolved a solution that no other great cat on the savannah can replicate. It carries its entire meal into the trees. This is a feat of endurance almost unmatched on the plains. The leopard cannot overpower a lion, nor outrun a hyena. Instead, it chooses a battlefield where no rival can follow the high canopy. It drapes its kill across a forked branch, beyond the reach of every thief below. Stealth wins the prey. Altitude keeps it. But even invisibility has its cracks. On the savannah, every sound is a set of coordinates. From deep within the grass, ears have already pricked upward. The usurper draws near. And this usurper carries no elegant fangs, nor any glamour of speed. It arrives not with stealth, nor with solitary might, but with the one currency that trumps them both on these unforgiving plains: sheer, unyielding numbers. The spotted hyena has long been dismissed as the savannah's lowly scavenger, a skulking opportunist, feeding on the leavings of nobler hunters, a creature of contempt. The truth, as is so often the case in this unforgiving land, could not be more starkly, dramatically different from that tired reputation. Its jaws can crush bone with a force exceeding 1,100 pounds per square inch, a pressure that dwarfs even the bite of a lion. That is sufficient to snap the femur of an African Cape buffalo clean in two, as effortlessly as a dry twig underfoot. Their society is ruled by matriarchs, organized into disciplined, tightly bonded clans where every member knows its place, its rank, and its purpose. Within a hyena clan, even the lowest-ranking female commands authority above the highest-ranking male. The hierarchy is absolute and unquestioned. Cubs inherit their mother's rank at birth, and the entire clan remembers the precise standing of every single individual within its social order. This is no chaotic rabble squabbling over scraps. This is a disciplined army, marshaled with a precision that would shame many a human institution. They coordinate their hunts with tactical cunning, raise their young communally, and defend their territory as a single, unified fighting force. And it is this cohesion, this unbreakable solidarity, not the crushing power of their jaws, that is the spotted hyena's most devastating weapon. And so, 3 crowns of the savannah have been raised aloft and, one by one, wrenched violently from their wearers' heads. The crown of strength was seized by younger, hungrier blood, a dynasty undone by the very pride that once made it invincible. The crown of speed was stolen by patient eyes circling high in the African sky, waiting for the perfect moment to descend. And the crown of stealth was overwhelmed by the stubborn, unyielding pressure of numbers that simply refused to walk away. Yet, as every terrestrial throne trembles upon its foundations, a quiet truth emerges, one that binds every fallen monarch with a single common thread. For every sovereign of these grasslands, no matter which crown it wears, has been brought low by precisely the same catastrophic vulnerability. Each has stood upon a riverbank, powerless, and watched in anguish as its own young were dragged beneath the dark, churning water. Every sovereign of the grasslands, no matter how fearsome its reputation, must bow its crowned head at the very same threshold. The boundary between grass and water is not merely a geographic line. It is the absolute frontier of all terrestrial authority. Step beyond it, and every crown forged upon the savannah is instantly rendered meaningless, stripped of all power and all pretense. The true throne of this vast kingdom, it transpires, has never rested upon the golden grasslands. It never belonged to the savannah at all. It lies submerged beneath the water's surface in a realm where the kings of the land cannot follow, cannot fight, and cannot rule. For generations beyond counting, the monarchs of the grasslands have believed the savannah to be the entirety of their world and dominion. None ever suspected that the true seat of power lay just beneath the murky water from which they drank humbly every single day. For a force dwells in that darkness primordial, silent, and possessed of a patience that makes the leopard's vigil seem fleeting by comparison. A force that has commanded these waters since long before the first lion ever set its heavy paw upon this sun-scorched land. And so the question must shift its course, flowing away from the parched grasslands down into the silt-laden depths of the river. This is a world utterly unlike the sunlit savannah above, a world governed by different laws, older instincts, and far more primeval bloodlines. Here, time itself seems to have paused, suspended in amber since the very dawn of complex life upon this planet. The Nile crocodile, an apex predator of such primordial power that it seems to belong more to the age of dinosaurs than to the present day. A killing machine sculpted by evolution across hundreds of millions of years, its fundamental design virtually unchanged, perfected once and left untouched. It can lie utterly motionless beneath the waterline for hours on end, betraying its presence with nothing more than 2 eyes and 2 nostrils. To any creature approaching the bank to drink, the river appears perfectly empty, perfectly safe, right up until the final, fatal instant. The moment prey lowers its muzzle to the surface, the entire river seems to detonate an explosion of jaws, spray, and primal terror. The strike of a Nile crocodile ranks among the fastest and most devastating attacks that the natural world has ever engineered. This is the creature that forced every king of the savannah to bow in dread at the water's edge, the true humbler of crowns. The throne of the river, at first glance, appears to be the one truly unassailable seat of power in this entire kingdom. Yet the crocodile's dominion does not rest upon those fearsome jaws alone. Its sovereignty, remarkably, runs far deeper than mere brute force. Its secret lies in something profoundly unexpected, a tenderness that seems impossible in a creature so primordial and so lethal. Maternal devotion. The female guards her buried nest for nearly 90 days, barely eating, driving off every intruder with a ferocity born of pure parental instinct. Yet the true usurper, the one creature capable of shattering that primordial throne entirely, is a beast that few would ever think to suspect. is not a predator. It possesses no hunting instinct, no killer's cunning, no taste whatsoever for the chase or the ambush. It is a herbivore, a grazer, a creature of grass and warm water, seemingly designed for nothing more threatening than quiet digestion. The hippopotamus, perhaps the most dangerously underestimated animal on the entire African continent, and the true challenger to the river's throne. By day, it lounges half-submerged in the shallows, blinking lazily in the equatorial heat, projecting an almost comical image of docile, lumbering harmlessness. That appearance is one of the most dangerous deceptions in the whole of the natural world, a masterclass in lethal misdirection. A fully grown bull hippopotamus can weigh between 1.5 and 3 tons, a living fortress of bone, muscle, and territorial fury. Its jaws can gape to an angle approaching 150 degrees wider than those of any other land mammal living today. Within that cavernous mouth, 2 lower canines extend to nearly 2 feet in length, honing themselves razor-sharp each time the animal closes its jaws. And the hippopotamus defends its underwater domain with an aggression so fierce, so absolute, that no creature in the river dares challenge it twice. When rival bulls contest the same stretch of river, the resulting battles are prolonged, savage, and drenched in blood duels of staggering brutality. They gape their enormous jaws wide, bearing colossal tusks in open challenge, then crash together amid a maelstrom of churning, bloodied water. This is the one animal before which even the lion and the Nile crocodile will actively, instinctively give ground without contest or hesitation. And the hippopotamus possesses yet another weapon, a silent chemical armament that science itself required decades to fully understand and decode. Across its hide, a thick, reddish fluid regularly seeps to the surface, leading generations of observers to believe the animal was sweating blood. It is neither blood nor sweat. That vivid, unsettling crimson hue has deceived observers for centuries, but its true nature is far more remarkable. It is a highly specialized acid secreted by glands unique to the hippopotamus, a biological innovation found nowhere else in the animal kingdom. This red secretion functions as a natural sunscreen, absorbing the fierce ultraviolet radiation of the unforgiving African sun before it can damage the skin beneath. Simultaneously, it acts as a potent natural antibiotic, suppressing bacterial growth across the surface of open wounds, a living pharmacy dispensed from within. Thanks to this chemical shield, the hippopotamus remains virtually immune to infection, despite bearing deep lacerations and wallowing all day in bacteria-laden water. Its hide measures up to 2 inches thick, in places dense enough to render the bite of most predators entirely, laughably ineffective. Here, then, is a creature that neither hunts nor consumes flesh, yet compels even the Nile crocodile, that supreme ambush predator, to retreat. Dominion over the water, it emerges, does not belong to the predator with the most fearsome bite or the most celebrated pedigree. This lumbering, grass-eating colossus is the true sovereign of the river, the one power before which all other claimants must yield. Not the Nile crocodile, but the perpetually underestimated giant herbivore holds the final, unchallenged authority over every contested stretch of waterway. And so the crown of the river, like every crown that came before it, passes to a new and unexpected bearer, the cycle unbroken. The Nile crocodile remains, without question, one of nature's most formidable predators. Yet it has never been the undisputed sovereign of these waters. That throne, it transpires, belongs to a creature that has never once hunted, never once tasted the blood or flesh of another. And if even the Nile crocodile must yield before the hippopotamus, then surely this long, winding story has reached its natural conclusion. But this kingdom has reserved one final revelation, a truth more stark and more unsparing than anything that has come before it. Upon this land, no throne endures, no crown is permanent, no dynasty survives unchallenged through the long turning of the seasons. Behind every powerful creature, without exception, a still more powerful rival waits in the shadows, patient, hungry, and utterly inevitable. Every advantage carries within it a corresponding blind spot, a fatal vulnerability woven into the very fabric of each creature's greatest strength. Every crown upon this timeless land is borrowed, worn for a fleeting moment, then surrendered, and the price of the loan is always paid in blood. In the natural world, power is never a possession to be hoarded or bequeathed. It is a moment fierce, incandescent, and impossibly brief. Today's hunter becomes tomorrow's quarry. The predator triumphant at dawn may be nothing but carrion before the sun has set. Today, a king stands upon the summit, surveying its domain with the absolute, unshakable certainty that this moment will last forever. By tomorrow, another will have risen from the ranks to take its place, and the deposed monarch will already be a fading memory. No victory endures forever upon these plains, and no defeat, however devastating it may seem, is ever truly the end of the story. That is not cruelty. It is not injustice. It is simply the way this vast, magnificent land has always conducted its affairs. And it is precisely this ceaseless succession, this perpetual changing of the guard, that keeps this ecosystem thrumming with vitality and life. Every species woven through this narrative is a single thread in a vast and fragile web of interdependence spanning the entire kingdom. Remove any single thread, and the whole web shudders, its structure weakened, its balance imperiled, its future thrown into grave uncertainty. And today, it is the hand of humanity and the gathering force of a changing climate that pose the gravest threat to that hard-won equilibrium. At Nature Moments, every story like this one serves as a reminder. Nature crowns no eternal tyrant, only a precarious balance that demands our devoted stewardship. If this journey along the trail of borrowed crowns has moved you, please subscribe and share so that the story of this wild, contested kingdom may continue to be told. As dawn breaks over the African savannah, one of the continent's most formidable predators stirs from sleep. African wild dog, the most successful hunter in the entire animal kingdom. Each wild dog bears a coat with a pattern entirely unique to itself. No two individuals are ever alike, much like a human fingerprint. It is this very trait that earned them their scientific name, Lycaon pictus, meaning the painted wolf. With their distinctively large, rounded ears, they can detect the faintest sounds across the vast, open plains. Before every hunt, the pack performs a remarkable ritual. They touch noses, lick each other's faces, and erupt into a frenzy of excited calls. But this is far more than a social greeting, it is a vote. Scientists have discovered that African wild dogs make collective decisions through sneezing. Once enough members of the pack have sneezed, the group sets off to hunt as one. Their hunting success rate reaches an extraordinary 80%, twice that of the lion and 3 times that of the leopard. But what truly sets the African wild dog apart is its social structure. A typical pack numbers between 7 and 15 individuals, led by a dominant breeding pair. Yet unlike many other pack predators, wild dogs prioritize their most vulnerable members at feeding time. After a successful hunt, the adults return to the den and regurgitate food for those unable to join the chase. And yet, this extraordinary animal stands on the brink of extinction. Fewer than 6,600 African wild dogs remain in the wild, scattered across a handful of countries in southern and eastern Africa. On the African savannah, as the afternoon sun paints the grass the color of burnished copper, a pride of lionesses lies flattened among elephant grass that rises chest high on a grown man. They are not sleeping, they are measuring distance. Not far away, an adult giraffe stands like a living tower 18 feet tall, weighing over 4,200 pounds, 15 times heavier than any lioness in the pride. The lionesses' split formation. The giraffe holds one advantage: perspective. Standing 18 feet above the plain, its eyes sweep the entire savannah like a living watchtower. The lions strike from behind. The success rate for a solitary hunt is just 17%. But when they coordinate as a group, that figure nearly doubles. And today, probability stands with the hunters. For the evolutionary arms race does not reward the winner, it simply erases the loser. And it is precisely that pressure which has sculpted every breathing creature on this savannah. The lion is not the only predator bearing the weight of this race. A few miles away, an entirely different order governs, where power resides not in fang or claw, but is inscribed into every molecule of DNA. On the Serengeti, the spotted hyena does not rule through brute physical strength alone. It rules through something far more ancient, something written into the very genome. In 2024, a study published in the journal Communications Biology revealed something remarkable. Social rank in hyenas is encoded directly into their DNA through epigenetic modification. "18 adult females and 24 juveniles from 3 Serengeti clans were analyzed. "149 distinct genetic regions differed between high-ranking and low-ranking individuals. Those regions influence energy metabolism, immune function, and neural signaling. The hyena's hierarchy is not merely social, it is molecular. Position within the clan is etched into the DNA, passed from mother to daughter. The hyena's heart comprises nearly 1% of its total body weight, a relentless engine built for the long chase. They sustain speeds of 30 miles per hour over 2 to 3 miles and travel up to 43 miles in a single night. With a bite force of 1,100 pounds per square inch, stronger than any big cat hyenas crush bone with startling ease. But their most formidable weapon is numbers. A clan large enough can force even a full-grown male lion to surrender his kill. Yet in the power hierarchy of the savannah, there exists one creature that stands outside every contest, not because it is strong, but because it is so fast it need not compete at all. The cheetah reaches 70 miles per hour, accelerating from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, faster than most supercars. Each stride covers 23 to 25 feet, the length of a school bus. But the story of the cheetah's speed contains a myth that persisted for decades, and modern science has only recently overturned it. It was long believed that the cheetah had to abandon the chase because its body overheated. Wrong. The average temperature increase of 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit after a hunt is driven by stress, a psychological response, not physical exhaustion. An expanded frontal sinus system and enlarged nasal passages function as a radiator for the brain, keeping the command center cool while the body burns. The cheetah does not stop because it overheats. It stops because the moment has come to strike. GPS tracking studies reveal that cheetahs actually decelerate 5 to 8 seconds before bringing down their prey. Semi-retractable claws grip the earth like track spikes. An S-curved spine flexes to store and then unleash kinetic energy. The heavy tail acts as a rudder. But speed does not buy safety. Ten to 13% of the cheetah's kills are stolen outright, 78% by hyenas, 15% by lions. The cheetah never fights back. It turns and runs because a battle it cannot win would cost far more than a single meal. And climate change is writing a darker chapter still. A 2023 study found that rising temperatures are forcing cheetahs to shift their hunts to dawn and dusk. Directly into the hunting hours of lions and leopards. The fastest animal on the planet is being squeezed into the same time slot as the most powerful. Only around 6,500 mature individuals remain worldwide, fewer than the population of a small town. The arms race is tilting toward those who are slower but far more numerous. But on the savannah, one species has found a way to win the race without fangs, without speed, without strength. Their weapon is sheer numbers. The Great Migration, 2 million mammals, including wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles, traverses 500 to 620 miles every year. An endless circle between the Serengeti and the Masai Mara. During a peak window of 2 to 3 weeks, 300,000 to 500,000 calves are born, 8,000 births every single day. This is no coincidence. This is predator swamping, producing so many young at once that no predator can possibly consume them all. Death cannot be everywhere at the same time, and in the gaps between its visits, life explodes. But if the race on the open savanna is one of speed and numbers, then in the dappled shadows of the woodland, an entirely different war is being waged between the ambush predator and the fortress builder. The leopard needs no pride, no speed. It needs darkness, and in the dark, it is virtually invincible. Its rosette-patterned coat opens circles, not filled like the jaguar's spots, breaks up the body's outline in the fractured light filtering through the canopy. The leopard does not hide in the darkness. It becomes the darkness. Its eyes are equipped with a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, granting night vision 7 times more powerful than a human's. On moonless nights, when prey is rendered nearly blind, the leopard sees every blade of grass. And when it kills, it carries its prize into the trees, hauling prey up to 3 times its own body weight into the branches. The equivalent of a grown adult carrying 450 pounds up a ladder. The warthog may lack beauty, but in nature's war of survival, good looks count for nothing at all. The last one standing is the one who wins. When the leopard materializes from the darkness, the confrontation between apex predator and survival specialist begins. It closes in without a sound, its eyes locked onto the throat before it launches forward in a strike like lightning. The warthog tries to fight back with razor-sharp tusks, but the predator's power and precision swiftly overwhelm every attempt at resistance. The leopard's jaws clamp down on the windpipe, cutting off the oxygen supply to the blood. Within minutes, the warthog lies completely still. The leopard claims its victory in absolute silence. But that kingdom is shrinking by the day. The giraffe, a species the IUCN formally split into 4 distinct species in 2025, now numbers only around 140,000 individuals, with some populations having collapsed by 95%. Cheetahs, 6,500. Lions, just 20 to 25,000, confined to a fraction of the ancestral territory they once dominated. And climate change does not stop at killing prey. It is rewriting the hunting schedule, pushing species that once avoided each other into the same time window, turning allies into rivals, turning the heat itself into judge and executioner. The arms race on the Savannah has been honing life for millions of years. But it is not the only arena. Dawn has not yet touched the crowns of the acacia trees when a roar tears through the stillness of the savannah. It carries 5 miles across the tawny grassland, rolling over the plains like a declaration of war that no living creature can afford to ignore. Every animal on the Serengeti hears it. This is not a rallying cry. It is an unmistakable warning that this land already has a master. On the vast African savanna, power never belongs to anyone forever. Many factions, many strategies, but only one rule endures: adapt or vanish. A lion roars at dawn. Less than an hour later, hyenas have arrived to contest the claim. An elephant walks through and everything falls silent. Within that endless turning, every battle begins with the simplest of things: space to survive. And the first to stake a claim over this vast territory is always the same species. Among all the great cats of the genus Panthera, the lion is the only one that lives in social groups. A pride, typically comprising 5 to 15 individuals, is built from related females, their young, and 1 to 4 adult males. It is the most complex social unit in the entire cat family, where every member's role has been shaped by millions of years of evolution. The males hold territorial control. They patrol, they mark with urine, with scent glands, and with their roar a sound that can be heard up to 5 miles away. A male lion's roar reaches an intensity of 114 decibels, equivalent to a close crack of thunder. A remarkable laryngeal structure featuring square-shaped soft tissue allows them to produce deeply resonant sound without requiring enormous lung pressure. It is a message sent to every nomadic male in the region that this land already has a guardian. But the power of the male lion has its limits. On average, a coalition holds its territory for just 2 to 4 years before being overthrown by younger, stronger rivals. When a new coalition invades a territory, the confrontation is direct and ferocious. If the resident males fail, the consequences are absolute. Loss of territory, loss of the pride females, loss of the cubs. While the males wage war for the throne, the females are the true hunting force. They carry out roughly 80 to 90% of all hunts for the pride. Their coordinated pack tactics allow them to read one another's positions through pure instinct, encircling prey from multiple angles without any visible signal. Success rates hover around 25% for a lone huntress, but rise to approximately 30% when they hunt as a group. Those figures may sound modest, but on the savannah, they are more than enough to sustain an entire pride. And among the most common prey, there is one animal that appears small but is anything but easy to catch: the warthog. The warthog Phacochuerus africanus weighs on average between 130 and 175 pounds, armed with curved tusks up to 2 feet long that can inflict devastating injuries. A rustle in the grass. A lioness presses herself flat against the earth, inching toward a warthog, rooting in the soil, utterly unaware of the danger closing in. Then she launches. The warthog reacts in a heartbeat. But on the savannah, being 1 second too slow is a debt paid with your life. Every lion born on these plains must learn the same lesson. Power is never given, power must be seized, and keeping it is harder still. But lions are not the only species that wages war on this savannah. They are nearly 5 times smaller than a lion. No mane, no roar. But the African wild dog Lycaon pictus commands a hunting success rate of 80%. For comparison, lions achieve just 25, leopards 38, cheetahs 58. The secret lies in a relay pursuit strategy. At speeds of 44 miles per hour, they take turns chasing their quarry across mile after mile of open ground. When the lead dog tires, the one behind instantly takes over. The prey is never allowed to rest until it collapses from sheer exhaustion. A pack typically numbers 6 to 20 individuals, led by a single alpha pair. But unlike lions, decisions here belong to the collective. In 2017, the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B documented a behavior never before observed: voting by sneezing. When enough pack members sneeze, the entire group decides to launch the hunt. And there is one more thing that sets them apart entirely. The young eat first. The adults eat last. In a world where every species prioritizes the strong, African wild dogs prioritize the future. Only about 6,600 individuals remain in the wild. The IUCN classifies them as endangered. Every pack that disappears is a perfect ecological machine lost to force that controls prey populations, keeping the grasslands from being overwhelmed. But on the savannah, there is no room for mourning. Only those who adapt survive, and the wild dogs are still adapting. Day by day, pack by pack, hunt by hunt. Yet not every creature on the savannah lives by fang and claw. One species has chosen an entirely opposite strategy to stand taller than everything else and to see farther than everything else. The giraffe, Giraffa camelopardalis, the tallest land animal on Earth. A mature bull stands 19 feet tall and weighs nearly 2,800 pounds. Its heart weighs 25 pounds, pumping blood up to the brain through a 6-foot neck at twice the blood pressure of a human being. Their blood pressure reaches 230 over 180, a reading that would cause a stroke in any person. Yet, a remarkable system of one-way valves within the jugular veins prevents blood from rushing back to the head each time the animal lowers itself to drink. And drinking, that is the single most dangerous moment. Front legs splayed apart. Field of vision drastically reduced. A lion needs only 3 seconds. Which is why giraffes rarely drink at all. Most of their water comes from acacia, leaves a food source that their extraordinary neck allows them to access exclusively. In 2021, the journal Nature revealed that the giraffe is not one species, but 4 genetically distinct species, separated by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. The total population across Africa has declined by 40% in just 3 decades, a silent extinction unfolding with remarkably little attention. They stand taller than any other creature. They see farther than any other creature. But seeing far cannot save them from the slow disappearance of the very ground beneath their feet. The greatest battle on the Serengeti does not begin with a roar. It begins with the thunder of hooves. More than 1.5 million wildebeest, alongside hundreds of thousands of zebra and gazelle, move as a single living river stretching to the horizon. This is the largest land migration still occurring on Earth. Thousands of miles each year, crossing rivers, scorched grasslands, and the territories of every predator along the way. Seen from above, the migration resembles an enormous artery coursing through the body of the savannah, carrying life, carrying death, and carrying renewal to every place it touches. But this river of life is not chaotic. It follows an ancient order that scientists call grazing succession. Zebra move first, consuming the tallest, coarsest grasses. Wildebeest follow behind, grazing the fresh new shoots that emerge. Gazelle arrive last, picking the finest remnants closest to the ground. Like a natural 3-tiered mowing machine, They transform the landscape as they pass. Soil is churned, seeds are buried, nutrients are redistributed for the season to come. No agricultural system ever designed by humans achieves that efficiency. Nature perfected this system long before humanity learned to plow a field. No single species commands this order. It arose through millions of years of evolution, each species finding its own niche, its own way to eat, to live, to avoid direct competition with the others. But that order comes at a cost. Thousands of individuals every year never complete the journey, felled by exhaustion, by disease, by predators. And their deaths sustain the entire ecosystem. In the midst of the migration, the calving season erupts. A newborn wildebeest must stand within minutes of birth and run within 15. There is no grace period for learning about the world. Stand or die. That is the first lesson, and the only one. The mother turns to lick her calf clean, erasing any scent that might betray them to a hunter. But on the open savanna, where the grass barely reaches a knee, hiding is very nearly impossible. Thousands of calves are born at once, not by accident, but by an evolutionary strategy tested over millions of years. Predators cannot kill them all, so the majority will survive. Sheer numbers are the defense. And it is the movement of these millions of prey animals that serves as the catalyst, the spark for every conflict on the savanna. The cheetah is evolution's answer through pure, uncompromising speed. Its body is a masterpiece, sculpted over millions of years for a single purpose: to reach 70 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. But that speed can only be sustained for roughly 20 seconds. After that, its body temperature soars toward a critical threshold, and the cheetah must stop even if the prey is still within sight. "20 seconds. That is the entire window between life and death, between a meal and hunger." a spine as flexible as a coiled spring, non-retractable claws gripping the earth like the spikes of a sprinter's shoe, a long tail acting as a counterbalance through high-speed turns. Every detail of this body serves speed and speed alone. In exchange, it has sacrificed strength. It has sacrificed endurance. After roughly 3 months of gestation, a mother cheetah faces nature's cruelest dilemma. Leave her cubs to hunt or stay to protect them and starve. The cubs lie hidden in the tall grass, scentless, virtually invisible. But virtually on the Serengeti still means they can die. Hyenas, eagles, lions, even leopards, all pose lethal threats to cheetah cubs. The mother must leave to hunt, but every minute she is gone is a gamble with her cubs' lives. And even when the hunt succeeds, when 70 miles per hour has brought down an impala, the fastest animal on the planet still cannot eat. Because the scent of blood travels faster than the wind across the open grassland, and hyenas, or lions, nearly always arrive in time to steal the prize. The leopard is evolution's answer through intelligence and calculation. Where the cheetah uses speed to catch prey and then loses it, the leopard uses patience to catch and keep. It lives alone. It hunts alone, it eats alone, it shares nothing with anyone. It marks its territory with scent and claw marks scored deep into tree bark, a silent warning to all trespassers. A flawless ambush. A precise leap, finished in silence. But the most extraordinary thing is not the hunt, it is what happens the moment the prey falls. A leopard drags a kill weighing 3 times its own body weight into a tree, not out of habit but as a survival strategy refined through countless generations. On the branches, lions cannot reach it, hyenas cannot climb. The kill is secure, and the meal can last for days without a single rival laying claim to it. The clever outlast the strong. That is a lesson the Serengeti teaches again and again, yet one that few in this arena ever truly learn. Two species, the same war, the same territory, but two strategies in complete opposition. Speed traded for vulnerability, intelligence traded for solitude. And both survive because both have found their own niche in the labyrinth of power that governs this savannah. Speed and intelligence, two different answers to the same question. And both are right. But there is one place on the migration route where neither speed nor intelligence offers any help at all. A place where every rule of the land is erased entirely. A few hundred miles to the west, the migration is approaching that very threshold. The Mara River cuts across the savannah like a scar, narrow but deep, placid on the surface but deadly beneath. Thousands of wildebeest crowd together on the steep bank, jostling, trampling one another, yet none willing to be the first to go in. Instinct holds them back on the high ground. And that instinct is entirely correct, because death is waiting below. Beneath the murky water, Nile crocodiles, individuals exceeding 16 feet in length, weighing close to a ton, have already taken their positions. They have lain motionless for weeks, even months, waiting for precisely this moment. No creature on earth is more patient than a crocodile. They can go without food for months on end, simply waiting for a feast they know with absolute certainty will arrive. Then one wildebeest leaps, and like an avalanche, thousands followed. Chaos. The water boils with thousands of thrashing legs. Dust rises in great clouds. Panicked cries echo across the valley. The first into the water swim desperately. Those behind are pushed in by the sheer pressure of thousands more pressing from the rear. No one chooses their position. Everything is decided by fate. In the water, there are no lions, no hyenas, no pack, no pride, no herd that can protect you. Every rule of the terrestrial world is wiped clean in a matter of seconds. Only the crocodile remains a creature that has survived virtually unchanged for more than 200 million years. It never needed to evolve further. The original design was already perfect. Each strike lasts less than a second. The jaws close with one of the most powerful bite forces in the entire animal kingdom, and they never let go. But the Mara holds more threats than crocodiles alone. The swift current, the slick and treacherous banks, and the crushing pressure of thousands of bodies pushing against one another, all of these kill. Many drown before a crocodile ever reaches them. Those that make it across crawl up the muddy far bank, shattered with exhaustion but alive. Behind them, the bodies of the less fortunate feed crocodiles, fish, vultures, and hundreds of other species. Nothing is wasted on the Serengeti. The death of one species is the meal of another. That wheel never stops turning. The Maasai have a saying, "The land belongs to no one. We are all merely passing through." The Mara River proves it with every migration. And even on the far bank, the battle is not over. A pride of lions waits ready to welcome the exhausted survivors emerging from the river. Nowhere on the Serengeti is truly safe. In the struggle for power on the savannah, size does not always determine the victor. There is a creature weighing a mere 25 pounds smaller than an average domestic dog, yet recognized by the Guinness World Records as the most fearless animal in the world. The honey badger. The name sounds harmless. The reality is anything but. Its hide is roughly a quarter of an inch thick, and it hangs loosely around the body, causing the fangs and claws of attackers to slide off without purchase. It is nearly impossible to pin down. It is immune to the venom of most snakes. Gets bitten, collapses unconscious for about 2 hours, then wakes up and finishes eating the snake as though nothing happened. It tears apart beehives, enduring thousands of stings to gorge on honey and larvae. The name honey badger was born from precisely that reckless habit. And here is what may be most remarkable of all. Both lions and leopards, two of the most powerful land predators on Earth, routinely avoid it. Not because they fear defeat, but because the cost of fighting a honey badger far exceeds any possible reward. It will bite, claw, twist, and counterattack without pause until one side gives up and walks away. "25 pounds of muscle and bone, wrapped in a hide that even a lion's fangs struggle to puncture." That is not bravery, it is a survival strategy, honed to perfection by evolution itself. In the power struggle of the savannah, the honey badger needs no size, no speed, only the refusal to be afraid. It walks through the territories of every species, attacks anything that stands in its way, then vanishes into the grass as though it were never there at all. And that may well be the most primitive, yet most effective strategy that evolution has ever produced. But the greatest battle on this savanna belongs neither to the smallest nor to the solitary. On land, an army is assembling in the open. They communicate through dozens of distinct vocalizations, move in coordinated groups, and outnumber any lion pride. The spotted hyena, a name forever burdened with the image of a scavenger, a creature that merely picks over what lions leave behind. But that is the greatest and most persistent misconception on the African savanna. Spotted hyenas are not carrion feeders. They are endurance hunters capable of pursuing prey across mile after mile without slowing down. And their society operates by a rule that no other large predator employs: absolute matriarchy. Every female outranks every male, no exceptions. The smallest female in the clan still holds more authority than the largest male. The matriarch, the dominant female, controls every critical decision: when to hunt, where to rest, who eats first, who must wait. Her power does not come from physical strength, it comes from experience, from a reputation built over many years. Their communication system is so sophisticated that every sound carries a distinct message: a whoop to summon the clan, a giggle signaling excitement, a low groan expressing submission. The young learn everything through observation and play. There are no lessons, only practice. From the moment they open their eyes, they know who holds power in the clan. And a spotted hyena clan can number 30, 40, even more than 60 individuals. That strength in numbers is something no lion pride can match. When the clan moves, the ground trembles. When the clan attacks, nothing on the savanna can look away. This is where the ultimate confrontation, the climax of every conflict unfolds. Under the blazing midday sun, a lioness is enjoying her kill. And the hyena clan has caught the scent from a distance. They appear. They do not rush, they encircle, slowly tightening the ring, each individual maintaining just enough distance to avoid being singled out. And then the lioness retreats, not in flight, simply backing away, surrendering the meal she herself brought down. At midday, while lions and hyenas are still locked in their dispute, an enormous silhouette appears on the horizon. The matriarch, the eldest cow, leads her family toward the last remaining waterhole of the dry season. She has lived more than 40 years. And her memory is the most precise survival map on the entire savannah. She knows where water lies when everything else has dried to dust. She remembers every path, every drought, every danger, decades of experience passed down through generations of matriarchs. When the elephants reach the waterhole, everything yields. No roar required, no threat displayed. The elephant's trunk, a structure containing more than 40,000 muscle fascicles, stretching roughly 6.5 feet in length, is the single most versatile tool in the natural world. Strong enough to snap a branch as thick as a man's handspan. Delicate enough to pluck a tiny seed from the ground. Strength and precision coexisting within a single biological structure, something that modern robotics has still not managed to replicate. Elephants do not need to hunt. They do not need to steal kills. They do not need to roar. They do not need to threaten. They need only arrive. Absolute power requires no display, no proof. Presence is enough. And perhaps that is the true answer to the question, who rules the savannah? Not the loudest, not the most numerous, but the one before whom all others step aside of their own accord. Yet even elephants, these colossal beings before whom the entire savannah shows deference, are steadily losing their living space to human encroachment. The dry season will pass, the rains will come, territories will be redrawn, and the battle will begin all over again. But that cycle can only continue as long as every link in the chain remains intact. The question is not who wins. The question is, how long can this system survive when humanity itself is rewriting the rules? The African wild dog, the most efficient hunter, the most democratic society, numbers only about 6,600 individuals in the wild. The IUCN classifies them as endangered. The lion, whose roar once carried across every savannah, is now listed as vulnerable. Populations are declining severely across the continent. The cheetah evolution's masterpiece of speed also vulnerable, their numbers shrinking on the very lands where they once ran free. The leopard, the most intelligent, the most adaptable, is not spared either. Vulnerable. The common enemy of all is not a rival hyena, not a competing lion, not even the merciless dry season. The enemy is the relentless shrinking of living space as human civilization expands into land that for millions of years belonged to these wild creatures. Fences surrounding farmland sever migration corridors that have existed for millennia. Livestock replace antelope on the grasslands. Conflict between humans and wildlife escalates each year with no sign of abating. The battle for space, the same battle that wild dogs have already lost to lions, is now one that every species is losing to a force that no fang or claw can resist. But the Serengeti is still here, still vast, still wild, and every day the wheel still turns. The sun rises, a lion roars to declare his territory. Less than an hour later, hyenas arrive to challenge the claim. At noon, an elephant passes through and everything steps aside. The wild dogs still sneeze their votes each morning, still let the young eat first, still run their relays across the miles, even as their packs grow smaller. The cheetah still fires off at 70 miles per hour and still loses the kill. The leopard still drags its prey into the trees and still dines alone. Power rotates without ceasing. No one wins forever. Nature does not create kings. Nature creates balance among all. And that balance is more fragile than any player in this contest realizes. The sun scorches the African plains. The prolonged dry season has transformed the grasslands into a carpet of burnt gold, where every drop of water becomes a reason to kill. This is the Savannah, a realm governed by no law but the law of the strong. Or at least, that is what most people believe. A lone lioness breaks away from her pride. She has not eaten in 3 days, and hunger is driving her toward a desperate gamble. The target, a male zebra grazing less than 165 feet away. Simple enough if the lion were truly invincible. "60% of a lion's musculature consists of fast twitch fibers, enabling an explosive surge from stillness to 37 miles per hour in just a few strides. Yet a lion's heart accounts for merely 0.5% of its body weight, a powerful engine, but one that cannot sustain. The chase must end within 30 seconds, or the hunter becomes the loser. The lioness launches into a burst of speed. Those hundreds of interlocking black and white stripes serve not as camouflage amid the grass, but to generate motion, dazzle, a visual illusion at high speed. Through the hunter's eyes, the zebra's body outline blurs, making it impossible to calculate the precise distance and timing for a decisive strike. The hunter halts, panting heavily, and concedes defeat. A solitary lioness succeeds only 17 to 19% of the time. The apex of the food chain fails 4 out of every 5 attempts. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the grandest mysteries of the natural world. The savannah harbors no permanent ruler. Today's predator may become tomorrow's prey. The strongest is not necessarily the one in control. Across these plains, 3 powers vie for dominion: the lion through brute strength, the spotted hyena through sheer numbers, and the Cape buffalo through unyielding endurance. Who truly holds power? The answer will challenge everything once assumed about the savannah. But before the battle begins, the defeated hunter must eat, and this time she does not hunt alone. Failure against the zebra is not an ending. It is the genesis of a far more dangerous decision. The lioness returns to her pride. Hunger has stretched across 3 days. The cubs grow weaker. The pride needs a substantial kill. And a massive target stands directly ahead. A giraffe, a mobile tower rising nearly 20 feet, weighing close to 2 tons. A single body sufficient to sustain the entire pride for 3 to 4 days. But the giraffe is no easy quarry. Its kick sweeps a 6.5-foot arc force enough to crush the skull of any predator foolish enough to approach. This is the moment instinct yields to strategy. Lions are not mercenaries, they operate as a coordinated unit. Stander's 1992 research revealed that each lioness within a pride holds a fixed tactical role, coordinating with the precision of players on a football pitch. Through a calculated encirclement and ambush point, the pride harnesses collective power to bring the 2-ton tower crashing to the ground. The feast begins. 2 males eat first, the privilege of beasts exceeding 420 pounds, crowned with thick, dark manes, markers of elevated testosterone, superior nutrition, and exceptional fighting prowess. The lionesses wait. They have done all the work, yet the law of the pride is not the law of fairness. It is the law of strength. Blood seeps into the parched earth. The scent of flesh drifts far on the hot wind. On the savannah, no meal remains a secret. And the most astute scavengers of the plains have been listening for some time. The kill has scarcely cooled when laughter erupts from the darkness. Not the laughter of joy, but a rallying signal for war. The spotted hyena, a creature many dismiss as a lowly scavenger, that assumption is profoundly wrong. Unlike lions, hyena society is governed by an absolute matriarchy. The smallest female in the clan outranks the largest male. Here, bloodline and female solidarity forge the power behind every siege. Spotted hyenas rank among the savannah's most persistent hunters, succeeding 25 to 40% of the time, with well-coordinated groups reaching 74% under ideal conditions. The hyena's power resides not in speed. It lies in its jaws, a bite force approaching 1,012 pounds. Force double that of a lion, sufficient to splinter a buffalo's femur into fragments. Their stomachs secrete acid with a pH near 1 so potent that bone, hoof, even teeth dissolve within hours. Nothing goes to waste. A few hundred yards from the pride, 3 lion cubs lie concealed in dense brush. Eyes still clouded, legs still trembling. They do not yet know they were born into a war. Lion cubs enter the world in a state of complete dependence, altricial, as science terms it. Blind, feeble, weighing under 4.5 pounds, 50 to 60% of them will not survive their first year. The enemies, not merely hyenas, not merely buffalo. Sometimes the savannah itself, sun, thirst, disease, proves the most silent killer of all. For the first 3 months, Mother's milk is everything. After that, raw meat takes its place, and the lessons of survival commence. But before learning to hunt, they must learn to live. The mother relocates her cubs, constantly shifting hiding spots every 2 to 3 days, so scent cannot accumulate, so hyenas and buffalo cannot track them. When the cubs grow strong enough to follow the pride, true training begins. And the mother's teaching methods are ruthless in their effectiveness. The lioness does not teach through theory. She brings back live prey, small, wounded antelope, and releases them before her cubs, learning through combat. The throat bite technique passes down through each practice session. The precise placement, the angle of the jaw, the exact pressure to suffocate without squandering energy. With each failure, the jaw muscles develop a fraction more. With each missed pounce, the claws sharpen further. Muscle and instinct are forged through combat, not inherited through genes. The males play a surprising role in this process. Bulls weighing nearly 440 pounds lie motionless, feigning weakness, allowing cubs to leap upon them, claw, and practice biting. This is not play. This is training. The young learn to gauge an opponent's size and find vulnerabilities on a body 100 times larger than their own. Two years. That is the threshold. If a young lion cannot hunt independently before the age of 2, it will starve. No exceptions. Jaw muscles, claws, leg power, all develop through each real encounter. Genetics does not bestow strength. Life itself forges the predator. But while the mother is occupied training her young, an enemy has been watching silently from afar. And that enemy knows precisely what the lion refuses to acknowledge. Today's cubs will become tomorrow's killers. The Cape buffalo, 2,000 pounds, hide nearly an inch thick, curved horns sweeping backward, their bases fusing into a solid shield of bone across the forehead. Cape buffalo do not operate alone. Perched upon their backs rides a living radar network, the oxpecker. The piercing alarm call of these birds serves as an early warning system, signaling a lurking predator in the tall grass long before the buffalo can see it. Hunters have bestowed upon them a singular title, Black Death. Yet, raw physical power is not the buffalo's most formidable weapon. What makes them a lion's nightmare is memory. Cape buffalo possess long-term scent memory. They remember the scent of lions. They remember where lions once rested. They remember the wind direction that carried the scent of danger. The old bull's dagger boys separate from the main herd, forming bands of 3 to 5. They do not search for grass, they search for lions. During daylight, while lions sleep, dagger boys begin to track, nostrils pressed to the earth, reading every scent signal. If they detect lion scent, they do not flee, they advance. The target: lion cubs, not adult males, not full-grown lionesses. The young, vulnerable, slow, incapable of resistance. The buffalo comprehend this, and they act upon that understanding, a form of strategic thinking that science has only recently begun to document. Herds in high lion density areas develop stronger mobbing responses, with sentinels consistently facing downwind, a learned behavior requiring 2 to 3 generations to establish. This is not mere instinct. This is a defensive culture transmitted from one generation to the next, much as humans pass down the lessons of war. Periquet's 2012 study in PLOS 1 confirmed Cape buffalo are the lion's primary prey, yet simultaneously the leading cause of lion mortality inflicted by prey species. Predator and prey. The boundary between these two concepts, on the savannah, is thinner than a blade's edge. Valeix, in 2009, documented that Cape buffalo alter their behavior according to the landscape of fear. They avoid areas frequented by lions, even when the grass there grows taller, thicker, and richer. Fear shapes the migration map of the entire herd, but fear also breeds action, and the buffalo's response is not flight. It is attack. Lions are not the only ones who covet Cape buffalo. Spotted hyenas armed with bone-crushing jaws and pack tactics also test their fortune. But 154 pounds confronting 2,000 pounds demands an entirely different equation. Hyenas never attack head-on. They select their target, the elderly, the sick, the isolated individuals no longer shielded by the collective. The siege begins. This time, the hyena pack targets a young buffalo calf, deploying numerical pressure to grind down stamina and sever the calf from the herd. But they have collided with an immovable barrier, the mother buffalo. An absolute protective instinct fused with a colossal muscular frame stands resolute, neutralizing every attempt to close the ring. Before the lethal horns of Black Death, the hyena clan recognizes that the price of this meal is far too steep. They know when to retreat, and this, unmistakably, is that moment. Retreat is not cowardice. Retreat is survival. On the savannah, the maternal fury of Cape buffalo stands as an unbreakable fortress, powerful enough to repel even the continent's most formidable bone-crushing jaws. The hyena's battle ends here, but the war within the buffalo herd has only just begun. Each mating season, the savannah trembles with a sound born not from lions or hyenas, but from deep within the buffalo herd itself. Two bulls charge headlong at one another, 30 miles per hour, no swerving, no slowing, skull meets skull. The horn boss, a fused shield of bone, is evolution's answer to precisely this moment. In mature bulls, the boss fuses completely by the age of 9, forming a plate of bone nearly 2 inches thick. Beneath the surface lies trabecular bone, a honeycomb lattice of struts measuring 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch tall, roughly 1/4 inch in diameter. This architecture disperses impact force laterally, preventing it from driving straight into the brain. Research by Farker in 2008 revealed that the boss is not built for ramming but for locking. Two bulls interlock horns, twist, wrench, and force each other down through sheer neck muscle power. These contests last for hours. Two bulls retreat, advance, lock, then break apart, rest, and clash again. Endurance decides the outcome, not a single devastating blow. The loser is driven from the herd, and a bull expelled from the herd becomes the easiest target for lions, solitary, exhausted, stripped of all protection. Defeated bulls often wander alone for weeks, wounds still raw, muscles spent. That is when the lions appear, always with impeccable timing. The battle within the herd determines who survives beyond it. On the savannah, losing in love can mean losing everything. Between the lion and the Cape buffalo, which do you believe holds greater influence over the savannah? Share your thoughts with Nature's Moments in the comments below.